In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create a resume. So here's some interesting facts about resumes. The average time spent by recruitment managers for analyzing a resume is 5 to 7 seconds. Unprofessional email addresses are the reason for rejection of 76% of resumes. When you put a photo on a resume, the chances of getting discarded are up to 88%. During the year 2014, over 90% of resumes are made available online or sent via email. It is worthy to note that only 35% of the candidates are eligible for the jobs they apply to. Applicant tracking software, the automation software for reading resumes, can eliminate over 75% of the applicants. The purpose of a resume is to provide a summary of your skills, abilities, and accomplishments to secure an interview. It is a quick advertisement of who you are. There are 5 steps to creating a resume. Number 1, compile personal and employment information. Number 2, choose a layout. Number 3, write your resume. 4, proofread. 5, print and email the cover letter. Print and email the resume with the cover letter. And these are the steps. So you're going to compile your personal and employment information. You're going to begin with a list of your skills, awards, and accomplishments. Next, you're going to gather information about your jobs, education, coursework, projects, professional organizations, activities, and clubs. Then, step 2, you're going to choose your layout. There are 2 different layouts for a resume, chronological and functional. Chronological is the most common layout, which is to list work history in chronological order, starting with your most recent job. A functional layout is used when you want to focus on skills and experience, and less on employment dates. This type is primarily used when there's a lapse in employment. You're most likely going to focus on the chronological resume layout. The next step is to, with your layout, organizing your resume. When organizing your resume, you need to keep these tips in mind. Place your stronger categories towards the beginning of the resume. Write short phrases and/or sentences. Place keywords or the main point of each statement at the beginning of each line. Analyze the requirements of the new job that you want to apply for, then compare the skills required with your background and indicate how you have demonstrated these skills. List employment and activities in chronological order with the most recent first. When formatting your resume, make sure it's easy to read and find information. Margin spacing should be approximately 1 inch around the edges. Distinguish categories clearly with headings that are bold, capitalized, or in large font. Leave a space between lines to enhance readability. Keep the resume to 1 page if possible. However, 2 pages is acceptable. Your resume should fill up a page. Consider adding other categories if needed to fill your page. Use Times New Roman, Arial, Bookman, New Century School Book for typeface font, and the font size of 10-point and 12-point are generally used. An exception to this could be a header typed in a large font to highlight your name. There are many templates available on the internet. If using a template, find one that looks professional and is easy to read. Parts of the resume include, there are different parts of a resume. There's the heading at the beginning. Then comes a job objective. It's optional but highly recommended. The education section, employment and volunteer positions section, skills, accomplishments, or achievements. That's an optional one but can be used to fill it. Awards and achievements, members or professional organizations, and hobbies or interests, which is optional if you need to fill it. The heading has your contact information and is always at the top of the page. List your name, temporary or permanent street address, and email address. Include your home or work telephone number if you are comfortable with prospective employers calling. Make sure your voicemail recording is clear, concise, and businesslike. So right now I'm going to have you go pause this video and go to our Google Classroom and complete 3.2a parts of a resume. And you're going to complete that as we progress through this video. So right now, pause the video, go open that file, and then as we progress through this video and through this PowerPoint presentation, you can pause the video and complete the parts of that exercise as we go. Here is what that looks like. Okay, so complete the following sections for your resume following my directions here. So put what you're going to use in your heading in this box. Okay, here is an example of a heading. Your name, full address. I would type my full address like this. Just like that. And then the phone number would be typed like this. And a professional email, something like this. I would suggest you use your personal email and not your school email. All right, moving along, the next part is the objective. It's optional, but it's highly recommended. It should be specific. Keep it short, in 12 words or less. Clearly state what type of job you want. Avoid overused phrases such as utilizing my skills or offering a potential to grow without being specific about how to accomplish that goal. So here's an example. Design apparel print for an innovative retail company. Maybe you are looking to gain work experience to help you with your career. Maybe you'd like to be an elementary teacher. So you could say something along the lines of caring for children in order to increase my work experience to obtain a career in elementary education. Okay, or adjust your objective to meet whatever interest you have as for a career. Next would be your education section. You're going to list the school name, city, and state you're attending with anticipated graduation date. List any seminars, workshops, or special courses you have taken, and you may list your grade point average if desired, but specify on what scale. Okay, and you can see how they did it. So right here would be Bellevue High School, Bellevue, Iowa. You could hit tab to move that over. And then maybe you could put here, instead of College of Design, if you took every one of my classes, you could put emphasis in business, okay, and then hit tab. And this is the anticipated graduation date that you would put. It would be May of whatever year you're going to graduate. And then for the bulleted lists here, you could put your GPA. If it's good, you can put that in. You could also list, if with the emphasis in business, you could list all the classes that you've taken, personal finance, computer applications, and all that. You could do the same thing for emphasis in industrial arts or family and consumer science or math or English. Those types of things you can list there. If you don't have an emphasis in anything, you could put, instead of College of Design, you could put related courses, and then you can list some of the classes that you've taken that you think would directly impact your objective, okay? So if you are looking to gain work experience in order to become an elementary education teacher, maybe you could list that you took childcare with Mrs. Feller. Just list the name of the class, okay? Also, what would help you with that would be maybe a foods class, or other classes. So just keep thinking of the objective that you listed, and then think of, instead of College of Design, related courses, and then you can list some that you think would apply. Notice how the headings are all the same, formatted the same, all caps and bold. Okay, moving along. And you should, right now, you should go back to this file, and you should fill in, you should have a job objective right now and education filled in as well. Moving along, the next part is employment, work history experiences, volunteer positions. Begin with your current or most recent job and use reverse chronological order. List the information in this order: your job title, the name of the employer and dates, city and state of the employer, a summary of your accomplishments and responsibilities. Use action words. Emphasize the skills that would readily transfer to your next job. Do not overstate duties. Use keywords. So for this one, I would do something like this. Maybe right now I've been babysitting. Okay, so work experience. I'm going to put the name of the employer. Okay, so maybe that is Joe and Sue Smith Residence. Okay, in all capital letters, just like they have for American Eagle. Underneath that, the name, babysitter, the job title. And then for the bulleted, and by the way, after American Eagle or after Joe and Sue Smith Residence, hit tab and type Bellevue, Iowa. Okay, then babysitter, and then hit tab, and you can put in, July 2015 to present if you're still babysitting for them, and then list the duties that you had. Okay, and you can see what they did here, but you could put cared for 3 and 4 year old, prepared meals, answered the telephone, any kind of skills that you think would be relevant to the job that you are looking to seek. Okay, you can also put Joe and Sue Smith Residence. Maybe you were a lawn care employee. Maybe you could think of something better to put there. That's all I'm coming up with now. And then same thing with the city, state, and the dates, and so on. So try to come up with a couple different work experiences, and it can be like it said, it can be any other, even volunteer positions with your church, any position where you had responsibilities. Okay. And now make sure that you also put that in here, the employment section. Okay. And now we're moving on to, it's work experience continued here on slide 14. In today's job market, internships, apprenticeships, co-ops, and other related experiences are very important. State as briefly as possible those activities which are relevant to the job for which you are applying. This information could be similar to that provided for work experience. Okay, so maybe if you're in Bellevue Big, those projects, I would list that Bellevue Big, and then list the project that you worked on, and then what you accomplished with the project. Okay, in other projects maybe that you did for other classes, like with Mr. Marshall's, if you help build something out there, you could include that under work experience. Awards and achievements. If you have won athletic awards, academic awards, or were recognized for community involvement or competition, then consider including them. Okay. Memberships of professional organizations. List any memberships, activities, or professional organizations you are currently or were engaged in that relate to your career objective. Indicate if there was an office that you held for those positions. Hobbies or interests, optional. This section may be included if you have hobbies or interests which demonstrate and highlight skills, abilities, and characteristics about you. Some examples are work with your hands, theater, artwork, travel, historic preservation, hiking, or even hunting. And 19 here, references. or 18, sorry. Preparing a separate sheet of 4 or 5 professional related references is acceptable. References are not normally included with your resume, but may be furnished upon request on a separate piece of paper. Divide references into work-related, professional, and personal. So here's an example of how you would set that up. And references are people that could give an objective opinion about you. Typically, you want to use teachers, coaches, past employers. You don't want to use your best friend. You don't want to use your mom and dad or anybody related to you. Proofread. Your resume needs to be carefully written, critiqued, and proofread as it is a primary tool in your job search. It is your first impression to a potential future employer, so you need to make it a good one. Mistakes on your resume can be interpreted as carelessness, doesn't care, doesn't pay attention to the details, etc. Printing and emailing. Resumes should be printed on high-quality cotton paper. This reflects your style, your attention to detail, and thoroughness. If sending by email, be sure to save your email as your resume as a PDF so no formatting issues arise when they receive your email. Finally, a resume is a marketing tool that job seekers use to communicate their value to employers. You only have 5 to 7 seconds to impress, so make it easy to read, organized, and relatable to the job that you are applying for. Okay, so I want you to make your own resume, and here's how you can do it. It talked about using a template, but right now you should have all of this filled in. Okay, so you've done the legwork. All right, so now we need to find a resume. Here's how it will be scored. This is also in your Google Classroom assignment. What I'm going to suggest you do, there's a few different things. I'm going to suggest, if you don't already have an account with Canva, go to canva.com and then make an account, okay? And you can actually, here's templates. You can see here, they've got all kinds of templates. Actually, I'm going to click home. And I'm going to search Canva for a resume. Okay. And then find one that looks professional. And again, don't use a picture. I would avoid that. I would find something simple and easy to follow. Like this one is real simple and easy to follow. Find one that you like and then choose it. And then now Canva will open it for you, and then you can adjust it to fit you. So these sections here that they have, these don't match up with what we just covered. So instead of personal, well, right here, you could put your name, and then instead of project manager, you would put your address and your phone number, like what we went over. Here, you could put objective, that could be your objective, employment history, that you're obviously going to keep. This could be, instead of academic profile, you could put education. That could be the education section. And you can change these around. Like what I would do here is make this one bigger. Or actually, let's see. This is grouped. I'm going to ungroup it. Click off of it. And now I'm going to move this up here. Like this. And then I'm going to grab this handle and just drag it over. Okay, and the font doesn't need to be that big. I can make it 12. Okay, and then right here, this, there's a fancy line here. We can move that up, I think. Anyway, let's ignore that for now. I'm going to move this up, and I'm going to make this wider. Okay, and I'm going to make it, if this is going to be 12 point, I might make this be 11. Okay, and then put your own, there, I can finally get this line chosen, and then I can move this up here. Okay, and I can space these out better. and move them around so that it's more in a linear type format. You know, we don't want a complete sentence here like what they have here. I would not use that. Anyway, you can I just want to show you that you can pick a template and then adjust it to fit the design that's shown here that we went over. Right here is a good layout of a resume, this picture. So if you want to go to the PowerPoint in today's lesson, you can take a look at this slide, and this is how I would try to set it up, or something similar to it, where it's easy to read, it's not distracting to the reader. Okay, so you know, this is one I gave as an example. I wonder if let me try something out here. I'm going to go to Office 365. You guys all have an Office 365 account. And I'm going to go to Word Online. Oh, and they do have right here a resume right here, and there's more templates. So let's click More Templates. And actually, let's search. Let's see what we find here for resume. Okay, we don't want that. So here's the templates. Let's look around. Here's a simple resume. Here's a resume, cover letter, chronological resume. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, this looks similar to the one that we were just going over. You know, this is the objective, and again, you just customize it to fit you. So those are a couple options. You can make a Canva account if you'd like, or go to Word Online and choose one of those templates also, and just customize it to fit your information.